if The Rock versus Randy Orton happened at SummerSlam 2012. And welcome back to my channel, guys, and again this is Mikeratto, and this is another dream match to which we're going to discuss the possibility of Randy Orton versus The Rock. So why SummerSlam 2012? Because it actually suits for the SummerSlam event because it's also to hype sales in the pay-per-view. We have CM Punk while fresh off from his heel turn in real life, who is actually competing against Cena in the Big Show. And for this timeline, we will have The Rock and Randy Orton as the secondary main event or the co-main event of that pay-per-view. That means that Cena, Big Show, and CM Punk still main events, despite of a lot of people will actually tune into this match because this is actually a second dream match after Cena versus The Rock, to be honest. Which is this match is actually one of the big dream matches from the 2000s up to the 2010s, when this actually didn't happen due to Cena's rise, popularity, and a former top star versus the current top star. That happens. And Randy Orton is also a top star by that point, and while they didn't face each other, they only have a segment in 2004 and nothing else, and also the after mentioned Evolution versus Rock and Sock Connection, which they have some interactions with that match, but they didn't have a one-on-one contest. For the case of Randy Orton and The Rock. So by this time, The Rock has returned yet again at 2012. While he's going to state that he's competing now for the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble 2013. Except, the lights go out. Then, when the lights go in, we see a hooded man at the back of The Rock. And then, boom, RKO out of nowhere. Yeah, and this timeline also CM Punk's heel turn didn't happen as of yet because he is not overshadowed by The Rock in this event. So that means that The Rock, he didn't save John Cena in the main event. Instead, we have Cena and CM Punk actually having a wonderful WWE Championship match, which was interrupted by the Big Show. And instead of CM Punk turning heel, though I love CM Punk as a heel in 2012, we have the two actually clearing out the ring because, CM Punk is also having some great merchandise by this time. So that means that, he is not turning heel yet for this timeline. So that means that, Rock versus Randy Orton will have a huge build up. A family name of wrestlers who's actually, I think they are both third or second generations, to which, they have their grandfathers, their fathers, and themselves competing in the ring. So that means that, third generation. So both of them are actually, they talk about their careers, and they have this promo packages which they compared The Rock to Randy Orton. They talk about their career respective. They talk about the world titles that they won. They talk about the peoples who they defeat. While The Rock talk about Stone Cold, he talks about John Cena, he talks about the guys like The Undertaker, Kane. Randy Orton does the same, which he ironically, these two have faced similar sets of opponents in their wrestling careers. So they focus on that. But in the next, that will be the promo package. As for the promos that we'll have, we will have Randy Orton's pick on the next episode of Monday Night Raw because I think at this time they actually ended the brand split. So Randy Orton will be appearing on Raw more often. Randy Orton explains his actions as well. He felt that there's someone that he didn't defeat yet, someone that he didn't face one-on-one yet. Though actually defeated them in a handicap tag team match, this doesn't settle up to him. As he actually accomplished a lot of things, a Royal Rumble victory, a multiple time world title reigns, main eventing WrestleMania, so on and so forth. But he isn't satisfied yet as well. He sees The Rock. When he saw The Rock returned, well, he gave John Cena the chance to actually fight The Rock. But with The Rock have no clear opponent for now, well, despite of him challenging for the WWE Championship, well, Randy Orton wants to face The Rock and wants to destroy The Rock and make him go back to Hollywood full time. So yeah. The Rock, while either on a video package or something like that, talks about Randy Orton, insults him. Well, you know how the casual Rock promo actually happens. So this wall happens first on via satellite. He talks about Randy Orton. Yeah, he talks about the similarities of opponents, the similarities of careers. And while there's one thing that Randy Orton doesn't have, and that's the millions of fans. Well, you know how The Rock actually works on his promos, to which well Rock actually turned serious in a moment for his promo. And while he acknowledges the defeat, while he knows that this is actually one of his dream matches, and Randy Orton sneaking up behind him, well, he knows that people shouldn't trust Viper or Snakes, and well, for the challenge, well, he accepts it at SummerSlam. To which, well, Randy Orton has a promo next week while he talks about the challenge that he actually has. So for the first promo, well, Randy Orton actually challenges The Rock. For the second promo that actually happens, well, Randy Orton actually talks about, yes, The Rock accepting his challenge, and well, yeah, he will do as he say. And while he defeats his opponent viciously. And also by this time, while we see a glimpse of 2009 Randy Orton actually being shined through, and also in Randy Orton from actually in 2012 up to 2013, while being a face, well, he didn't do much. Well, yes, he actually fought the Shield. He actually had multiple World Heavyweight Championship pursuits, but him turning heel here and having this fresh character yet again for The Rock actually to compete at SummerSlam, well, it's a huge pay-per-view buy rates, and also for a new character for him, or actually revolving back to his dark heel persona, where people are actually wanting that dark heel persona because well, Randy Orton does a lot of things as a heel compared to babyface Randy Orton, such as what burning Bray Wyatt, The Fiend in 2020, while we have Randy Orton actually destroying Cena's father during Cena's father appearances during his feud with Cena. We also have Randy Orton destroying the McMahon family, destroying legends in his legend killer persona by making the statement of punting them or actually destroying them in the ring or backstage. So yeah, Orton is now back to his 2009 persona, his most vicious persona, and it's locked on at SummerSlam. Well, they have different promos, and well, even The Rock will try to attack Randy Orton, but Randy Orton knows well, and he countered the Rock Bottom into an RKO, and then later on, well, The Rock successfully attacks Randy Orton. So who should win this match? Well, because I know that while Randy Orton deserves the win, but in this time, while they're actually building The Rock for a WWE Championship match, which actually happened in 2013. So, well, if this is actually the main event of the show, let's just say that, well, yeah, it's not the co-main event. Let's just say that this is the main event because, well, it's another hype up dream match. So, The Rock wins. The Rock wins, and while he challenges for the WWE Championship, as he does that promo when he's challenging for the WWE Championship, while he's actually looking at the front cameras, CM Punk actually attacked him from behind and perform a GTS to end the show in the high note and he raises the title up to a laying down Rock at the end of SummerSlam 2012. He defeated Cena in the Big Show before the main event of The Rock and Randy Orton, and he made a statement by destroying The Rock before the pay-per-view ends. So the next night, we have CM Punk explaining his actions that part-timers like The Rock stole the spotlight from full-timers like him, and The Rock was returned and actually defeated two full-timers and actually stolen a lot of spotlight from the other wrestlers. So yeah, that will be the start of CM Punk's heel turn. Yeah, it's either started here or possibly move it forward or delay the heel turn. But yeah, it actually makes sense to have the heel turn after Rock and Randy Orton main eventing that night and while stealing the spotlight from CM Punk to main event SummerSlam 2012. So yeah, that's my video. I hope you'll like it. Like, comment down below, share, and subscribe. So I know that I talk about CM Punk's merchandise sales, but for the storyline perspective, this makes sense for him to GTS The Rock after in storyline or yeah, they stolen the spotlight from him because for him the WWE Championship match ends the show in a full notice and the WWE Champion stands up tall during the pay-per-view main event. So yeah, the feud actually starts for CM Punk and The Rock after The Rock defeated Randy Orton, and when I say CM Punk actually having a statement. So yeah, that's the video. I hope you all like it. This is another time that I say it. Like, comment down below, share, and subscribe. And again, don't forget to watch my other videos for my other what ifs. So yeah, again, this is Mikeratto, and peace.